Every small comment, every little setback, if you let it get under your skin, you're surrendering your power. The truth is, the most resilient people don't experience fewer challenges. They've simply mastered how to respond. Imagine walking through life without being fazed. No overthinking, no emotional explosions, just complete composure. In this video, I will guide you on how to train your mind so that nothing ruffles your feathers. When you own your emotions instead of being held captive by them, you reclaim control over your life. Once you master this, no situation and no individual will ever hold power over you again. 1. Mastering the nothing bothers me mindset. Life is chaotic. People's opinions, everyday annoyances, unforeseen obstacles. It's relentless in throwing distractions, criticisms, and challenges your way. But what if I told you that true strength lies in mastering indifference? Picture walking through a storm, unflinching without losing your poise. This is what it means to act as if nothing bothers you. The key is learning to detach your emotions from external events. When you let outside circumstances dictate your feelings, you become a puppet to forces beyond your control. However, when you train your mind to stay unshaken, you take charge of your destiny. The world respects those who remain calm amidst chaos, those who don't buckle under pressure. By embodying this mindset, you will exude authority without uttering a single word. You'll move through life with power, poise, and a confidence that cannot be shaken. Think of the most influential people in history. They weren't the ones who lashed out at every slight or responded impulsively. Instead, they exuded control, as if they knew something the world didn't. Their power wasn't in their ability to argue or defend themselves, but in their ability to remain unaffected. This is the true power of indifference. Consider the philosophy found in self-mastery and success literature. The most profound lesson is that thought precedes action. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you consistently react emotionally to the world, you give away your power. But if you cultivate a steadfast mindset, the world will bend to your will. Those who accomplish great things in life understand this truth. Control your mind, and you control your reality. Picture this scenario. Someone insults you in public. The natural reaction for most is anger, retaliation, or self-defense. But what happens when you simply smile and walk away? You rob the instigator of their power. They anticipated a reaction, but when they don't get one, they are left unsettled. You, on the other hand, walk away stronger, untouched, undefeated. This is the silent dominance that few understand but all admire. The same principle applies to failures and setbacks. When faced with rejection or defeat, most people allow their emotions to take over, sinking into frustration, wasting days, weeks, or even years lamenting what went wrong. But those who grasp the power of indifference see failure as nothing more than data, a learning experience, an opportunity to adjust, a stepping stone. They don't internalize failure. They observe it, adapt to it, and move forward. 2. Building emotional control. So, how do you develop this level of control? Starts with daily mental training. Begin by practicing the habit of pausing before reacting. Ask yourself, does this situation truly impact my long-term goals? Is my response necessary? Or am I giving away my power by reacting? With consistent practice, you'll build an inner shield that protects you from life's trivialities. Another key element is visualization. Picture yourself as someone who moves through life unaffected by insults, pressure, or setbacks. Imagine a version of yourself who stays composed under stress, who does not flinch when provoked. When you reinforce this image in your mind, it begins to manifest in your reality. Your mind is incredibly powerful, and what you repeatedly visualize, you eventually become. Let people wonder why you're never rattled. Let them question how you maintain such composure, because when you show that nothing bothers you, you control the game. You become an enigma, someone who commands respect without ever having to try. In that mystery lies your strength. True power isn't about dominance or aggression. It's about presence. A presence so profound that it doesn't need to shout to be heard. It demands respect through silence and an unshakable mental state. Master this, and you master life. 3. The power of emotional detachment. To stay unshaken, think about the most unshakable people you know. They don't act on impulse. They don't allow emotions to dictate their actions. Instead, they pause, assess, and respond with intention. This isn't because they lack emotions. It's because they have mastered them. Emotional detachment isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about controlling them. Picture this. You're in a heated argument and the other person is trying to provoke you. Do you react? Do you let their words control your emotions? Or do you smile, unaffected, knowing that their words hold no real power unless you give them that power? Emotional detachment is about refusing to hand over your peace to external forces. It's about understanding that your inner world is sacred, untouchable. When you adopt this approach, stress diminishes, clarity increases, and life's challenges become mere puzzles to solve, no longer battles to fight. Consider the principle that your thoughts shape your reality. What you focus on, you attract. If you allow external events to dictate your mood, you become a slave to circumstances. But when you take control of your thoughts and emotions, you become the architect of your fate. Think of the man who lost everything. His business collapsed, his investments crumbled, and he was left with nothing. Most people would drown in despair, but not him. Instead, he saw the loss as a lesson, not a tragedy. He understood that his mind was his greatest asset, and no external loss could take that away from him. With this mindset, he rebuilt everything stronger than before. This is the power of detachment. When you stop identifying with failure or setbacks, you free yourself to rise above them. 4. The emotional turbulence that holds people back. A major reason people fail to reach their goals is emotional turbulence. They let fear, doubt, and frustration control them. They start out with ambition, but give up the moment challenges appear. But those who master detachment understand that emotions are simply fleeting sensations. They don't let temporary feelings derail their long-term goals. They persist because their mindset sees obstacles as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Training yourself to be emotionally detached doesn't mean you become cold or indifferent. It simply means that you no longer let external forces control your internal state. You can still experience joy, sadness, and excitement, but you remain in control. Your emotions serve you, they don't control you. To develop this mindset, practice stepping back in emotionally charged situations. The next time someone insults you, pause before reacting. Observe your feelings. Ask yourself, does this situation truly impact my life in any meaningful way? More often than not, the answer will be no. By choosing not to react, you take away their power over you. 5. Prioritize what truly matters. Detachment also comes from having a clear purpose. When you have a strong vision, the small distractions no longer affect you. Your focus becomes unbreakable because you understand that your energy is too valuable to waste on things that don't serve you. The world belongs to those who master themselves. The more you cultivate emotional control, the more unstoppable you become. While others panic, you remain calm. While others react, you respond. And by doing so, you gain an advantage that most will never possess. True strength is not about physical dominance or loud displays of power. It's about having an unshakable presence, one that commands respect without demanding it. When you master the art of emotional detachment, you don't just navigate life, you control it. 6. Embrace mindful indifference. In a world that constantly teaches us to care about everything, other people's opinions, validation, and judgment, true freedom lies in realizing that most things simply don't matter. The next time you find yourself overthinking, ask, will this matter in 5 years? The answer is no, let it go. Most of what troubles us, criticism, temporary setbacks, fleeting embarrassments, becomes insignificant with time. Yet we allow these things to consume our thoughts, to dictate our emotions and control our actions. Mastering indifference is the key to reclaiming your power. Indifference doesn't mean being apathetic. It means prioritizing. It means recognizing that your energy is limited and choosing to invest it only in things that truly deserve your focus. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion is worth considering. When you stop reacting to every minor inconvenience, You regain control. You shift from being emotionally reactive to strategically responsive. And that shift changes everything. Think of the people you admire most. They are not the ones desperately seeking approval or reacting emotionally to every challenge. They are the ones who stand firm, unshaken by the noise of the world. They know who they are, and because of that, they cannot be easily manipulated or influenced. When you adopt this mindset, something remarkable happens. People start to respect you more, not because you seek their validation, but because they see you as someone who cannot be moved. In a world where most are desperate to fit in, to be liked, to conform, the one who stands firm in their own self-worth holds the true power. 7. Handling criticism with grace. Criticism is inevitable. How you handle it, however, defines your strength. Most people crumble at the first sign of disapproval. They take every comment to heart, allowing it to shape their self-identity, dictate their actions, and weaken their resolve. But why? Criticism is nothing more than words, opinions, and perspectives that often come from people who don't fully understand your journey. The truth is, criticism only has the power you give it. When you react emotionally, you let it control you. But when you filter criticism through logic, you stay in control. The strongest individuals don't let criticism shake them. They assess it with a clear mind, take what's useful, and discard the rest. No unnecessary emotion, no overreaction. Just selective attention to what truly matters. There are two types of criticism: constructive and destructive. Constructive criticism is valuable, helps you improve, comes from people with experience, knowledge, and a genuine desire to see you grow. This type of feedback is worth embracing. Destructive criticism, however, is designed to break you down. It often stems from jealousy, insecurity, or ignorance. These opinions are meaningless unless you make the mistake of internalizing them. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a masterpiece. As he works, people stop to watch. Some admire his creation, some offer helpful suggestions, and others mock his efforts. Does the sculptor abandon his vision because of a few negative voices? No. He continues, guided by his inner vision, filtering out the noise. This is how you should approach criticism. The next time someone criticizes you, ask yourself, does this person have the experience or credibility to judge me? If they do, consider their words. If not, move on. Not all voices deserve your attention. Most criticism comes from people who have never done what you are doing. Their words reflect their own limitations, not yours. 8. Keep your composure under pressure. Pressure reveals the true nature of people. Some break, some fold. But the strong, they remain unshaken. Why? Because they prepare their minds before the storm arrives. They understand that pressure is not an anomaly. It is a certainty. And when you expect challenges, you stop being surprised by them. The secret is to detach from the need for control. Understand this. Not everything will go according to plan. People will disappoint you. Obstacles will appear. Unexpected setbacks will come. But you do not react emotionally. You respond with strategy, with calm calculation. Most people crack under pressure because they resist reality. They expect everything to be smooth, predictable, and within their grasp. When life proves otherwise, they panic, complain, and freeze. But those who train themselves to embrace uncertainty, who adapt and move with the chaos, not against it, are the ones who remain unbreakable. Think of a seasoned warrior. He doesn't enter battle expecting an easy fight. He expects resistance, ambushes, and unforeseen threats. Yet he remains composed because he has already accepted the reality of conflict. He doesn't waste energy wishing for ease. Instead, he focuses on execution. You must adopt the same mindset. The world will test you. It will throw stress, failure, and doubt your way. But if you've trained yourself to be composed under pressure, nothing will shake you. While others scramble and panic, you will move with precision. You won't react, you will respond. And when the storm passes, you'll still be standing, untouched, unshaken, and unbreakable. 9. Let go of what you can't control. Suffering often arises from attachment. Attachment to outcomes, to expectations, to things beyond our control. We grip tightly to what we think should happen, to how we believe life should unfold. And when reality doesn't align with our desires, we feel pain. But true mental strength lies in letting go. Picture a river. Water flows around obstacles, never resisting, never fighting. It doesn't demand that rocks move out of its way, nor does it stop flowing when faced with resistance. To adapt, this is how you must approach life. Some things will happen regardless of how much you stress over them. The job offer that never came, the person who walked away, the setback you didn't expect. You can either resist and suffer, or you can adapt and move forward. The choice is yours. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means shifting your focus to what you can control. Clinging to expectations makes you fragile. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of frustration, replaying past events, questioning what could have been. But when you embrace the reality that some things are beyond your influence, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Think of the strongest people you know. They are not the ones who fight against the inevitable. They are the ones who remain calm in the face of uncertainty. They have mastered detachment, not from life but from the illusion of control. They understand that life is unpredictable, and peace comes from flowing with it, not against it. 10. Silence is the ultimate power move. In a world obsessed with noise, silence is a weapon. Most people talk to fill space, to gain validation, to prove something. But the most powerful individuals don't speak unnecessarily. They listen, they observe, and they calculate. And when they finally speak, every word carries weight. Silence forces people to second-guess themselves, to analyze their thoughts, to wonder what you're thinking. In any conversation, the one who speaks less holds more control. Words reveal, but silence conceals. When you master silence, you shift the power dynamics in your favor. You gain control over conversations, situations, and how people perceive you. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it with explanations, justifications, or unnecessary words. But when you hold back, you force others to reveal themselves. The more they speak, the more they expose their thoughts, insecurities, and intentions. Meanwhile, you remain a mystery. And in that mystery lies power. Imagine being in a negotiation. The person across from you presents an offer and expects an immediate response. But instead of reacting, you pause. You let silence stretch. The longer you wait, the more unsettled they become. They start second-guessing. They fill the silence with better terms, compromises, or desperation. Why? Because silence creates tension, and tension creates leverage. The same principle applies in everyday interactions. The next time someone insults you, stay silent. Most people expect a reaction, anger, defense, or retaliation. But when you give them nothing, they lose their power over you. They begin wondering if their words had any effect. Your silence forces them to deal with their own emotions rather than feeding off yours. Silence is also a tool for observation. When you talk less, you notice more. You see the hesitation in someone's voice, the nervous shift in their posture, the contradictions in their words. Most people miss these cues because they're too busy speaking. But when you master silence, you become a strategist. You gather information without revealing anything in return. There's a reason the world's most influential figures are rarely the loudest in the room. They understand that true power isn't in promises or words, it's in execution. They don't waste time explaining their vision to people who won't understand. Instead, they simply build, create, and dominate in silence. If you want to master silence, start by practicing restraint. The next time you're in a conversation, pause before speaking. Listen more than you talk. Let others reveal themselves first. The less you say, the more people will lean in when you finally speak. 11. Train yourself to stay calm. Your mind is your battlefield. The thoughts you allow in will determine whether you win or lose. Every doubt, every fear, every hesitation, these are enemies that must be conquered. The strongest individuals aren't those who never experience negative thoughts. They are those who refuse to be controlled by them. To train an unshakable mind, You must build mental habits. Gratitude to counter negativity, discipline to override laziness, detachment to eliminate suffering. Just like the body grows stronger through resistance, the mind becomes resilient through daily training. You can't expect mental toughness to show up when you're in a crisis if you haven't prepared for it beforehand. Every day you must train yourself to stay unfazed. Pause before reacting. Breathe before responding. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They react impulsively, act out of fear, surrender to frustration. But the ones who control their minds, they control everything. This is how warriors think. This is how leaders operate. They don't allow distractions, disappointments, or insults to shake them. They move through life with a sense of purpose, with a deep-rooted calm that others can't comprehend. And because of this, they become unbreakable. Understand this. Mental strength is built in the small, everyday moments. It's in waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's in choosing silence when you could argue. It's in pushing forward when everything inside you wants to quit. The mind, like a muscle, grows through resistance. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen it. One of the most powerful mental habits you can develop is detachment. When you learn to separate yourself from emotions, from outcomes, and from external chaos, you gain an advantage over those who constantly react. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means control. It means understanding that you can't control the world, but you can always control your response to it. Imagine a storm. Most people get tossed around by the winds, caught in circumstances they can't control. But those with unshakable minds, they stand still, grounded. They let the storm pass around them. They don't waste energy fighting the uncontrollable. They reserve their strength for what truly matters. 12. Master the art of moving in silence. True power moves in silence. It doesn't seek attention, it doesn't need validation. It simply acts and lets the results speak for themselves. The loudest people in the room are often the weakest. They crave recognition, announce their intentions, and seek approval. But the strongest, they move quietly, strategically, with precision. If you want to be respected, stop announcing your plans. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. Just do the work. Just make progress. Success is not built through words. It's built through action. The more you talk, the more you invite scrutiny, doubt, and resistance. But when you work in silence, no one sees you coming. And by the time they notice, it's too late. The strongest individuals don't waste energy proving themselves. They let their success do the talking. They don't argue, they don't over-explain, they don't try to impress. They move with certainty. And that certainty commands respect. The moment you stop looking for validation, you become unstoppable. There's a reason why the most influential figures in history weren't the ones constantly talking about their next move. They understood that power isn't in promises, it's in execution. They didn't explain their vision to those who wouldn't understand. They simply built, created, and dominated in silence. If you want to master this, develop the discipline to keep your ambitions private. Work relentlessly, but don't seek applause. Let people wonder about your next move. Let them question how you stay so composed, so unshaken. The less they know, the more control you have.